Hey everybody, happy Friday. TGIF, even though right now, every day is Friday. So I am here, my name is Amanda Lenz. I own ReVive Salon on 6th Street and the Blow Dry Bar on 7th Street. And I'm really excited today to give you guys a hair curling tutorial, but I'm also gonna talk a little bit about hair care. My hair is just air dried, so it's looking really fuzzy, which will be good for the tutorial. But I hope everybody is staying safe, spending as much time with your loved ones as you can. I'm excited to see some people I know on here and some new faces, so keep in touch at ReVive Loves Hair, at ReVive Dry Bar, or my work Instagram, which is at Hair Story by Amanda. The first thing for your hair to style well, which we all need to practice, so what better time than while we're stuck inside, is to make sure that your hair is in good shape. So most people think that washing their hair is like an Herbal Essences commercial, where you're just kind of tossing all of your hair in the shampoo and it smells like roses, and that's not really the best way to take care of your hair. So at the salons, people always say to us, my hair feels way better when I leave here than when I do my hair at home. And part of that is actually the washing process. So, good time to use all your self-care masks you've bought for your face, your eyes, your hair. You have a lot of time to do it, so this is a good time to pull out some of those hair products maybe haven't been used, been sitting in the cabinet. Just to kind of give you a quick idea of a quick, just step-by-step washing your hair. I'm not going to get in the shower, although that would be very funny. You just want to make sure when you're going to shampoo your hair, get in the shower, you're going to brush your hair really well. I love bristle brushes that have boar in them, or the wet brush, just traditional. You want to make sure that you brush your hair and pull all the oil from your scalp down. A lot of us aren't washing our hair every day, so it's really important to be pulling all that oil down, because oil is actually to make sure that the ends of your hair feel healthy. So you want to brush all that really well. Boar bristle brushes are going to pull a lot of that oil down a lot better. But if you don't have that, any brush is going to do. So when you get your shampoo, when you're in the shower, put some in your hands and you're going to glue your fingers to your scalp and scrub your scalp. You don't want to wash the ends of your hair. That's going to cause it to get really, really dry. And that's why we're always conditioning our hair to get rid of the dryness. So, hey Peach. So you want to make sure that you're really scrubbing your scalp. You can do this once or twice. What you're looking for is to get your shampoo to lather really well. Once you're lathered, you're rinsed, it's gonna clean the ends perfectly. You don't have to scrub this stuff. And then you're gonna condition by wringing as much water out of your hair as possible. Too much water is just gonna leave a barrier and waste your conditioner. So wring all that water out, get a good amount of conditioner, start at the bottom, work your way up. I usually split my hair in half and I come up, get the extra product through the top. I have these little annoying fuzzy hairs, so I always try and condition those. And then you do always want to use a brush or a wide tooth comb with your conditioner. So Wet Brush makes this too. They have a ton of brushes, they have wide tooth combs, but that's going to really go through and get all that conditioner dispersed way better than your fingers. So super important. If you're doing a hair mask, same thing. And you're just going to let that sit as long as you can. Showering, shaving, washing yourself, whatever steps you have, and then rinse your conditioner out. I usually wrap my hair up in those cool little Turby Twist towels because they absorb a lot of water and they're not hard on your hair. So you don't want to use a really big towel or something really, really heavy. So now that we know the best way to wash our hair, we also want to talk about curling. So what products do we use? Quick for anybody at home who doesn't know what to use, we sell Davines products on our website, reviveloveshair.com. 10 off is the code to get 10% off, but they have shampoos, conditioners. These are samples I keep at home. They also have these really awesome hair masks. So these guys you could get 2 or 3 uses out of, but they're super customized. So you're looking for one that's for dry scalp or hair that needs shine, or your ends are feeling really crappy. These are really good ones to be able to use. So those are called the Circle Chronicles. And then I love Oi Milk. It's a leave-in detangling spray. So when my hair's wet, I shake it really well, spritz it throughout. And I actually like to just let my hair air dry, especially in these quarantine days. The less heat you can use on your hair, the better. So not having blow drying and then flat ironing and curling and all that, it's just gonna make your hair happier in the long run. So let your hair air dry. It's actually gonna give you better texture to be able to curl your hair with, that texture. So once your hair is totally 100% dry, that's when you can use a hot tool. And there's always different sizes. Everybody kind of has to find the one that works best for them. A lot of people think using a really big iron is the best, but Lisa, the hair towel is the Turby Twist. They've been around since like the 90s. They're so cute. I think you can get them at Bed Bath & Beyond in like a 3-pack. These really big curling irons, they're great for volume as far as like making your hair feel a little bit bigger, but they're not going to give you really a whole lot of waves. So this is like a 1.5 inch. These are just going to give you pretty much what my hair looks like now, which is just like a little bit of this kind of bendy bit. So I see a lot of people trying to use these to get curl or beach waves, and they're just too big. So we're not using that one. So I like a 1.25 inch or a 1 inch iron. If my hair gets a little too curly, I can always make it less curly. But if it's not curly enough, then I have to go over it again, and that's more heat damage. So this is T3, this brand. This one is Theory. They're both fine. I wouldn't say I love them like beyond any other one, but I had bought them at hair shows I was working at, so that's what I use. But I would definitely recommend looking up the brand Hot Tools. They make great curling irons of all different sizes, really inexpensive. So we always want to make sure when we're curling or flat ironing or even blow drying that we're using a heat protectant. I'm a pale chick. I don't go out in the sun without sunblock. I don't want to get burned. Your hair can burn really quick. When you think about most tools being on anywhere from like 270 to 350 degrees, that's as hot as an oven. Maybe, you know, some of you even have your tools up to 400, 450, typically way too high. Most of us have color treated hair or long hair that we're not trimming enough. So you don't need to turn your tool up that high. You just need to be a little more patient in letting that heat get through the section. But you always want to make sure you're using a heat protector. So for me, I like Keratin Complex, Keratin Obsessed. It has a bunch of benefits. So I'll usually put it in my hair damp and let it air dry or blow dry it. But today I'm just going to lightly spritz it through on dry hair, just so I have a little bit of a barrier of something in there. Staying away from the roots, really just working through the ends where the ends get a little bit crispier. Okay, so we got that stuff going. You need clips. I know a lot of people don't own clips at home. Hair tie is fine, but you definitely want sections. I am a lazy hairstylist, so I love to do as little work to get as much of an impact as I can, which works really well for my clients. So I do with my hair, anytime I do it, whether I'm blow drying it, flat ironing it, or curling it, in 3 sections, and then I take subsections of the hair within those. So if you are the kind of person that your hair does not hold really well, you can use like a light hold hairspray, but I typically don't like to use a hairspray before using a hot tool because they do have alcohol. So I like to use like a light hairspray, a texture spray, or a salt spray, and an oil, like all those at the end. So we'll go over that right at the end after our hair is cooled off. Okay, so my hair, I always want to make sure that I'm brushed really well before I get started. I'm using the boar bristle brush to pull oils and get all my little fuzzies as much as I can. Hi everybody watching. I'm so glad everybody's gonna get to learn how to curl their hair. And my hair is just falling naturally at this part, so that's what I'm going with. I'm going to take a horseshoe section, so like kind of that little weak point where we all feel like we're going bald. That's where you want to start. And I'll just follow that, and my fingertips are gonna meet up in the back. Now, any of you blessed with super duper duper thick hair, you might need to do a 4th section, but don't stress too much about the stuff in the underneath because nobody's really gonna see that. We just wanna make sure that the ends of that looks good, so the top is really the most important part. So I'm gonna clip this guy up on the top. And then my next section right below it is gonna be above my ears. Clip that guy up out of the way. All right, now everything that I do when I curl my hair is always splitting it from the back middle. I don't wanna have to put my arms in the back of my head and work. It's just way too frustrating and uncomfortable. So when I take my sections, I'm gonna detangle them, hold the hair straight out. And you want to actually clamp your hair in the middle of the section. A lot of times, since we were younger, we were taught to curl our hair from the bottom. But the problem with that is we just get really curly ends and little kind of like Shirley Temple curls. So I want to actually curl my hair from the bottom and bring it up. And these ends I'm leaving out. Most of the time our ends are the most heat damaged spot anyway. So we don't really want that to be curled. If you have to go over them, you can kind of pull it. But I'm not going to touch that until I'm done. Now you'll notice from one side, I have my arm down and this little bar is close to you. So my face. Same thing on the other side. You don't want to have to be putting your arm up over your head. So it does take a little bit of practice to kind of get used to going from one side to the other. Starting in the middle there. And this curling iron's cool because once I have the hair wrapped on it, I can just kind of slide it. Some curling irons you have to keep opening and closing the clamp. So for people that are a little bit, you know, more comfortable curling their hair, you could probably do the clamp, but people that are newer at it, it's nice when it does the work for you. And if you ever feel like a piece gets too curly, while your hair is hot, you want to yank on it. So once that hair has time to kind of like chill, it's gonna have memory. So anybody out there who's used hot rollers, the reason that those worked is they were hot and then they got cold. It's the same thing with curls. So if your curl feels too curly, pull on it while it's hot. So section 1, done. You can spray sections as you go when they're complete with a light hold spray. I'm a low product person because I really don't wash my hair that often. Like I said, I'm a lazy hairstylist. So I'm gonna clip one section forward, and I'm gonna pull my other section forward and split this into 2. So my back piece, I'm pulling it forward. I'm not doing any work behind my head where it's uncomfortable. And brushing my section, starting about midway down. And I wanna make sure that I'm getting those ends to follow, but I'm not gonna suck them into the curling iron. Now, when I get through the top, sometimes I might take a couple smaller sections, but it just really depends kind of what I'm looking for that day. When you're curling your hair, you want to feel it and see as soon as that heat comes through, it's time to take it off. I'm sure that there are plenty of people out there, if you're watching and you've seen it, the tutorial of the girl who burns her hair off, she ended up on the internet as like a sensation. It was really funny, but sad, but not. She held the curling iron on her hair for like 30 seconds. So this little piece here, like I said, I have these like annoying little fuzzy pieces. Sometimes I try and get them involved, but sometimes I have to go over them at the end. But going on that mid strand, clamp is toward my face, rolling it. And I'm leaving those little ends out. If you're somebody who burns your ears, everybody's been there, you can put a comb underneath here to keep your ear protected. I once had a really important event that I was going to that I burnt my neck. So it looked like I had a giant hickey, but it was really my curling iron, which is kind of embarrassing when you're a hairstylist and you burn your own neck, but we're people too, so. All right, other side. I'm splitting this section in 2. Using a 1-inch curling iron. I detangled it. I'm holding it with the clamp side toward my face, so my arm is down. I don't have to have my arm up above my head. This one even has that cool little topper on here, so I can grab the top of this. I am gonna have to open and close it a little bit because this section of hair is kind of thick. And then I'm just winding it up toward my head, but I'm never getting those ends all the way in. But I do just wanna make sure that they're following kind of everything else. So when these ends go the opposite way, I know this happened to a lot of people, it's called fish hooks. While it's hot, you can try and kind of go over it and correct it, but that's why you want to always pay attention to curling with that bar toward your face. That way you're not going to get everything sucked up into the curling iron. And then my last piece in the underneath. So this is only 6 sections. We'll probably do like 4 to 6 through the top. I'm gonna put some finishing spray in and then show you how to comb it out. A good way to kind of switch it up if you're somebody that's looking to have it be a lot like softer, more tousled, is do these in opposite directions. So even though right now I'm showing you kind of an easy way to do it, which is curling everything away from my face, if you go and curl some toward and some away, you're gonna get that really pretty beachy tousled look instead of everything kind of being a little more glam. You should see the amount of hair too that comes out doing this. And my boyfriend has a fear of loose hair, which I just think is funny when you're live with a hairstylist. So, all right, refining my part. It's about where it wants to be. I'm splitting through the back here. A lot of people are really like concerned with getting volume in the crown of their head. I don't really do that a lot with a hot tool. I usually use like a Puff Me, which is a texture powder, to do that. Just because my arms, well, my hair is really long and heavy on top, so I just think fighting gravity is like, it's kind of an endless battle when it comes to getting volume in the top of your hair, so. And then you just want to kind of pick through the front and make sure you don't miss anything. So I'm going to take a section through the back, comb it forward, kind of get those pieces as smooth as you can. Putting my curling iron in halfway. If you need to start at the root to kind of smooth your hair, you can do that. And then I'm spinning this guy, but I'm leaving those ends out. And then I'm gonna keep my hand on my hair just to feel it. And once I start to feel that get really hot, not burny, just enough that the warmth has come through that piece, I'm gonna pull it off. And I can pull this straight off, and that's gonna even straighten the ends a little bit if you're somebody who you have really fuzzy ends. And then through my front piece, I always usually keep some pieces cut shorter around here, so I like to do that piece last on its own. Grabbing that piece, smoothing it, wrapping. And my temperature is 375. I actually don't have color in my hair anymore, which is weird as a hairstylist, but I've had my hair pretty much every color ever. And now I'm just letting the grays grow in along with everybody else in quarantine, so I can use a little bit of a higher heat, and I get my hair cut a lot. But if you are color treating your hair, you want to turn it down, like 350 or lower. And I'm feeling it. It's hot. And then my little front piece, these guys tend to curl really quick because the hair is finer. So I don't go as hard on these. I'm only gonna hold them a little bit just so they bend into the rest of my hair. But I can feel that heat come through so fast. I just don't wanna have a super, super curly piece around my face, so. Like I said, while it's hot, you can pull on it if it feels too curly. But once you let that cool off, it's gonna hold that a little bit more. All right. I got about 3 more pieces here. So like I said, this is a nice, easy sectioning technique. The cool thing about curling your hair is it doesn't really have to be perfect, especially if you're alternating pieces back and forth the way I'm doing it, where I want to see everything curling in the same direction. I don't really want to miss anything, but if some are looser and some are tighter, it's fine. So I think that having a little bit more lived in organic look is nice. And I like to do this when my hair is like a day old. So I washed my hair yesterday, and I will sleep with my hair in a top knot so I can maintain this because I thrash around in my sleep. So in that top knot, I will use an Invisibobble. Anybody that's ever seen these, they're the best hair ties ever. They stretch, they lock. When they get too stretched out, you heat them up and they shrink back down. And they only, like, I wrap it twice. So it puts so much less tension on my hair than a regular hair tie. And I've noticed, because I wear my hair up a lot, I don't have as much breakage since I've been using Invisibobbles, so definitely look them up. All right, we're going halfway down. I'm turning, leaving the ends out. And I'm feeling that heat come through the curling iron. So that's how I'm gonna know when I'm ready to let go of my section. And you can pull the ends off, like I said, to kind of straighten some of them. All right, one more piece. So we have 14 pieces all together. Not bad. It takes me way longer to do my makeup than my hair, and I'd like to keep it that way. So Just don't make it too hard on yourself. If like you see I have little pieces kind of falling out, you can touch those guys up individually, but this is my bang piece, so I don't want to be too tight. How's that guy going? All right. Okay. So now I'm gonna let it cool for a minute. When I am letting my hair cool, I will often be putting a texture spray in at this point. So I wish Primo the barber was watching, but I'm sure he's busy right now. But he makes an awesome line called Bellow. This does smell like men, which I really enjoy. But it's a great texture spray, so I'll use this. We also use this at the blow dry bar. Or sometimes I will use Davines sea salt spray. The salt spray is great because it does give you texture if your hair is like slippery, but it's made with magnesium instead of salt, so your hair doesn't get dried out. Or if you're an oily person, you might want to use dry shampoo. Amika dry shampoo has saved my life. I've trained my hair to not get greasy from using this. I have this Kevin Murphy bedroom hair texturizing hairspray that I really like when I wear my hair curly, so I'm actually gonna lightly use that. Over the years of doing hair, I've been doing it about 12 years, I've ended up with a lot of like random hair products that I've gotten at hair shows, but we don't even sell at my salon. But I don't know, I guess it's like a little menagerie. And I can feel my hair is getting cooler. So now my favorite oil ever, Davines Oil. Oil smells awesome. It's great for men and women. You can hydrate your skin with it. They have shampoo, conditioner, and leave-in treatment. But I always put 1 pump of oil on my hands, kind of like a lotion. So I don't want to like make my hair oily. I just want to be able to kind of grab any fuzzies and bits. And starting through the bottom, I'll start to put it really through the ends of my hair. Now, combing out a curl, you can do a bunch of different ways. I always start with my hands because I like the little bit more natural look of that. I have naturally curly, wavy hair when it's short, so I kind of like that this can mimic that because I've broken it up just in my fingers. If I was using a bigger curling iron, I definitely have more of a wave, but I like the 1 inch because it lasts me longer when I do my hair like this. The other thing you can do is use a wide tooth comb and actually comb it. Using the wide tooth comb and combing it out will give you a little bit kind of more of that like wave iron effect. So anybody who was born between like 1985 and 1997 would remember the waver, where you could actually crimp and wave your hair. Or you can use the boar bristle or a wet brush and smooth it and pull on it. And that's gonna give you a little bit more of like that soft wave. Depending on what you're doing, sometimes I'll do this and kind of tuck everything on one side and pull it over when I have my hair brushed out like that, because it gives you more of that glammy look. So even just looking at brushing it with 2 different types of brushes, comb and a brush, how differently it'll break that up. Or you can just kind of shake it out and make it wild. Pretty fun, right? Well, this was exciting to get to do a live. It was nice to have something to do. It's been a while since I've actually had a time that I had to do something. So I hope everybody enjoyed this, and we're looking forward to doing more tutorials. You can always reach out, like I said, to our Instagrams, ReVive Loves Hair or ReVive Dry Bar. My Instagram is Hair Story by Amanda. My name is Amanda Lenz. I am from ReVive Salon on 6th Street and Blow Dry Bar on 7th Street. And we are hoping everybody stays safe and healthy, but we are so looking forward to being able to get back into business. See you guys downtown. Have a great weekend.